Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Happy Monday. We made it to another Monday, a start of a new work week. Good morning to Daniel Berry Sports. Good morning to JL. Good morning to Olivia. Oh, Olivia moderator. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Y'all, mm-mm-mm. Mondays, it's something about a Monday that just be giving you the blues. I woke up with my alarm, y'all. And something in my mind was like, go ahead and hit the snooze. Just hit the snooze. Something in my mind was trying to make me hit the snooze, go back to sleep, get me a few more hours. Something in my mind was telling me, but y'all, I said no. I said, I gotta do what I gotta do. So I got on up and I made my iced coffee. I got it right here. To put a little bit of extra pep in my step, I went on ahead and took Zulu out first. And now he is eating his food. So now he is wide awake up in here with me. So I ain't got no choice but to be well. I noticed that when I start be feeling lazy like that, then yeah. If I get Zulu stirring up in here, then once he done went outside to use the bathroom, then he ready to eat. Then once he done ate something, then he ready to drink something. Then once he done drink something, then he might be needing to go back out again. And the day has started. So I'm here with y'all. Good morning. Okay. So I was trying to think of what I could title this one as well. And y'all, I almost titled it with emojis. And when I looked at it, I realized that I ended up titling my morning show on Friday with emojis. And I'm like, well, hell, I can't title this one the same as I titled the Friday one. So y'all, I just put a mix of everything. So that's why you got this title, a mix of everything with my emojis. I was able to keep my ear to the streets a little bit this weekend to get y'all some stuff. But I have to be honest, if anything happened overnight, y'all, I probably don't have that information for you. Believe it or not, when I woke up to use the restroom in the middle of the night, YouTube cameras was live over there. Y'all, I peeked in up in there to see what was going on. Looked like she doing like a memory lane or like a throwback or something. But I didn't even know why she did it. And y'all, to be honest, I was so sleepy still that I couldn't even stay up to figure out what she had going on. Because it's very rare that she will get up and go live and be live like that through the night. But y'all, I peeked up in there. I didn't understand what was going on. Looked like some old stuff from when the Umar sector people first came. That's all I know. I ended up going back to sleep. Let me see what Olivia said. Olivia said, yes, J.Dunn, that's me. I cannot get Girl, it gets tough like that sometimes to where you just like dragging your feet. And I don't know what it is that make Monday so difficult. Like, I think it's a mental thing. It's truly mind over matter. Because what makes Monday any different than any other day of the week? People always talk about Monday like Monday is so horrific or Monday is just it stops time. But really, what makes Monday different than any of the other days? And why, if you could be gung ho for the rest of the days leading up to Friday, then what makes Monday so bad? Good morning, Michelle. That's what I had to ask myself that question. But either way, I'm here, y'all. I'm here. So I did take some notes on a few things that I was witnessing, y'all. It got me to thinking about the whole thing where people say there is power in the tongue. Then there is also people say that sometimes you could speak horrific things into the atmosphere, into the universe. And I feel like that's going to be a theme within this show because there are a couple of different bullet points that I did collect over the course of the weekend. That actually pertain to that theme. To where it just seemed like People sometimes, good morning, just lovely. People sometimes speak negativity into themselves. And I guess I can pretty much start with one thing that I was covering last week, but more information kind of came out um this weekend. But okay, so y'all know last week I did cover a little bit about that couple out here that had this domestic violence relationship, the Duchess and the Frenchman. They had a domestic violence situation, a very toxic relationship where, well, a very toxic marriage where they didn't need to be together whatsoever. Um, and there ended up being an unaliving, live on social media, on Facebook. Well, this did happen in Georgia. It actually happened in a city called Twin Cities, Georgia. So Twin Cities, I haven't looked it up to see how far that it is from Atlanta exactly, but I can assume that it's not too far. But over the course of the weekend, more information has come out of that, out on that story. So I did take notes about that because that is so close to home and they were so young. I definitely want to cover that. And I will cover that as I know more information because I really just think it's interesting that social media could have such a grip onto the life of a married couple that it could go in such a downward spiral the way that it did for a click and a view. Or was it because of click and a view? Because what I found out with the newest information that has come out is that there was trouble in paradise for quite some time. What I also ended up finding out is that this man, the Frenchman, first off, they said that he got the name the Frenchman because he would breed French bulldogs. Some people call them Frenchies, but because he was a French bulldog breeder, that's why the neighborhood started calling him the Frenchman. So where initially I thought that he was just being called the Frenchman for social media purposes. No, that's actually something that they call him around certain parts of Georgia because he is known for breeding these French bulldog puppies. So you got that additional detail. Good morning, Ray Triggs, moderator. Good morning. So you got that additional detail. But what happened over the course of the weekend is that other people have spoken out about this circumstance, other people very close to the story. Primarily, I'm sure y'all, when y'all saw the Facebook video where this whole incident happened, y'all saw the Duchess Dior, the lady, y'all saw her mention somebody named Obi. And she was like, "You want me to tell them about Obi? You want me to tell them about Obi?" And when she said that, he said the Frenchman got mad and was like, "I swear to God, I unalive you." And she was like, "What? So I gotta get unalived if I say something about Obi?" Okay. Well, Obi's cousin spoke out, y'all. If y'all missed it, Obi's cousin spoke out, which I should have known that whoever that was, whoever the Obi was, some people keep calling the person Udi. Some people keep calling the person Ubi. But no, the cousin came out and spoke on social media. She said her cousin's name is Obi. Obi. And what she said was that her cousin had been best friends with the Frenchman. They had been best friends for years. Years. They had known each other pretty much their entire life. She stated that her cousin Obi was like this real, I guess this real tough guy, in Georgia. And when I say tough, I mean moving money, moving products, moving whatever he gotta move, to stack his money. Moving whatever he gotta move, whether it's legal or whether it's illegal. He was just doing whatever. He was a hustler. Good morning, Madam of the Mess. And because he was a hustler and he was best friends with the Frenchman, anytime that Obi got information about any type of lick that he could come up on, regardless of what it was, he would always bring the Frenchman with him because the Frenchman was his homeboy. Obi always knew that he was going to be paid heftily for whatever he was doing. Again, whether it was legal or illegal. So he would bring the Frenchman with him from time to time to help the Frenchman get some money too. Because again, the Frenchman was a dog breeder. So now it makes sense. Have y'all seen people cover this and people were like, well, she was the only one working and he was unemployed. That's why he was at the house making lasagna for them. That's why he was just at the house whenever she got to the house in the video, almost as if he hadn't done anything with himself. Well, he had not done anything with himself because just like what we found out, he was in prison at one particular point. They met because she worked as a correctional officer in a prison that he was in. And that's how come they met each other and ended up, I guess, falling in love and getting married later on. And then even once he was out, he was doing this dog breeding, the French bulldog dog breeding. And then now with Obi's cousin coming out, we find out that also a way that he brought money into the house was doing these street runs, these street hustles with Obi. Okay, so we on the same page? Good. And let me see what Just Lovely said. Yeah, he was set up and she thinks the Frenchman was involved. Correct, Just Lovely. Because what the cousin actually said was, the cousin does feel like it was a setup. And what I heard the cousin say in the video that I was watching was that her family had always thought that the Frenchman had something to do with Obi. That the Frenchman had something to do with Obi's with Obi getting, I guess, with Obi getting unalive. They felt like the Frenchman had set Obi up. They wasn't sure if it was like supposed to be a setup for a robbery that was gone bad, or if it was in fact a setup just because of some type of jealousy. But they always assumed that it was the Frenchman because the cousin was saying that the entire thing looked like an inside job. And she said that it looked like an inside job from her lens and from her perspective because whoever was involved knew way, way, way too much about her cousin and her cousin's movements in order to be able to get her cousin in that way. Because she said that her cousin was not no rookie. He was no green, naive type person. He knew how to move around the streets. He knew how to move to make sure that he was safe and make sure that their family was safe. So after all of this happened, Frenchman ended up going to the funeral for Obi. And the family was side-eyeing him, but they really didn't have no proof. They didn't have anybody coming forward and talking. So imagine the family's satisfaction, but then also not satisfaction when during that Facebook stream that everybody seemed to have been watching, and then people that knew Obi was also watching them people, I'm sure. Imagine their thought when they heard her say, "You want me to tell them about Udi?" Because by that point, she just had dropped the breadcrumb to the family of this man, Obi. She dropped the breadcrumb to them when she said that statement in the live. And then also the cousin was saying that Obi was gang affiliated too. And that breadcrumb was heard around the people that are in the gang with Obi. So when that girl said that, and you notice how the Frenchman changed his entire demeanor, his entire energy shifted in the video, it's because she had said that, and it was all of that, them types of people watching. The family of Obi, gang members of Obi, people that was going to be ready to retaliate. This is the reason why when you hear him say, I swear to God, I'll unalive you. He meant it. He was serious in that moment. And actually, Obi's cousin said that he meant that from the bottom of it, from the bottom of his heart, because she said that as soon as they heard that piece of information from the girl, she said that the people who were friendly and gang members with her cousin had already started making moves. And according to the cousin of Obi, Obi's cousin said that at that particular moment, that man barely had 24 hours to live, if that. Good morning, Bernice. She said the clock started ticking on that man as soon as that girl said that up on the Facebook Live. She said for that reason, that's the reason why he whooped that girl rump. He whooped her rump and then he left her. Pretty much left her for dead. So the cousin was able to explain that it wasn't no pow situation with no unaliving. That's not how it was, because a lot of people were speculating that maybe he did a pow to the girl. No, that's not what happened. What seemed to have happened is that he got so angered and upset in that moment that he ended up putting hands on her and beating her to the point to where to the point of no return, to the point to where she was unconscious. And the cousin said that this girl was left unconscious for about an hour and a half before help even arrived. Also, from what I've heard, the Frenchman wasn't even the one to call for help. The Frenchman just did all that once the girl went unconscious and wasn't responsive. He got up in their car and drove off. My only assumption is that probably people who were watching that Facebook stream, maybe the audience on social media might have stepped in and made some type of phone call, because it does not appear, at least not that I've heard, that the Frenchman made a phone call to get help for her at all. And the cousin of Obi said that the reason why she believes that he didn't try to get any help for her is because he wanted her to eventually lose her life, because he didn't want her to speak anymore. He was so afraid about what else she would say in relation to this that he didn't want her to live. So that's why he beat her to that magnitude. And also, the cousin was saying that if they, as family members, if they had known that this woman had this type of information that she could have provided to them, they were saying that as a family, they would have received whatever information the woman had to get them closer to the truth about what happened to her cousin. But she was thinking that the Frenchman had the Duchess so scared to speak and so scared to do anything because of the domestic abuse going on up in the household, that even though she had all this pertinent information that she could have gave over to that family about what happened, the girl was just scared for her own safety. Yes, was just scared for her own safety, y'all. So when I heard all of that, I was like, well, I said, it's funny how you could see one thing on social media, and y'all, if y'all look at their stuff before this whole incident, y'all, it looked like they had the perfect couple, the perfect marriage. They had baby shower pictures where they took pictures together when she was pregnant, and all this kind of stuff. From what I heard, people like them as a social media look, a social media type couple, but in real life, it was something different. Another thing that I ended up noticing too was not only did Obi's cousin speak out, but then also the Frenchman's brother spoke out. He spoke out about it being very common, about the DV that was going on in that marriage and in that household. He said the DV was so common that it was just another day. If he found out that them two had been up in there scrapping in the house, it was nothing that they blinked an eye about, because they always scrapped, they always broke up, they always got back together. That's just what they did. Even to the point to where Frenchman's brother spoke about the particular time where the Frenchman walked in on Duchess having sex with a man. Which also in that Facebook Live, you can hear the Frenchman talking about the fact that she cheated on him and how how he actually caught her in the act of cheating. And I think that wasn't too long ago, y'all. I think it was recent, within the last few months, at least within this year, where she was creeping out on him with somebody else and actually had the audacity to invite whomever it was to their home and actually slept with this man in the marital bed. And just so happened the Duchess, I don't know how the Frenchman knew that something was up, but what the Frenchman did was he decided, instead of him coming to the house and pulling up at the house, he left his car down the road, y'all, because he was suspecting that she was up in there cheating or something. So he parked his car down the road and walked a little ways to go up in the house, and that way she not hearing him pull up in the driveway or not hearing him pull up to the house. And he walked up in there and caught her in the bed with a man. Yeah, I don't know if this is the reason why they was passing herpes around each other, because remember they were talking about this herpes scaring everything in that marriage. Girl, it was a hot ass mess. But the Frenchman's brother was talking about this like it was just commonplace, like it was normal. When she got caught cheating, the Frenchman was about to put hands on her again, being caught in that act, and she ended up running out the house butt naked and getting up in her car and driving to the local police station. And the Frenchman's brother said that she actually was at the police station naked, y'all, standing outside of the police station talking to the two police officers about the fact that she had just got caught cheating and her husband was about to whoop her ass. Y'all, dysfunctional at its finest, ain't it? And then it's like, how much do you really have to want to be in a relationship and want to be loved to go through that type of mess? And then just imagine you getting caught cheating up in your damn house and you have to run outside of your front door flapping your booty cheeks. You running outside your front door with your booty cheeks flapping, trying to get to the car. How mortifying. Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine. And then when you drive straight to the police station because you scared that your husband about to be following you wherever you're going, and you drive straight to the police station, and imagine how the police officers probably felt to see this naked woman just running up into that police station trying to get help. Like, what? Y'all, unbelievable. But either way, so we got that from the Frenchman's brother. Now, also, there was a message from the co-worker of Duchess. So Duchess worked at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. She actually did have honest work. She really wasn't one of those street people. She had honest work, but I'm pretty sure she had dudes on the side that she probably was getting money out of them, for whatever she needed, I'm sure. But for the most part, she worked for a Hyundai dealership or a Hyundai factory or something. Well, one of the co-workers that used to work with her at Hyundai, she done came out and started speaking. Y'all imagine all of these people coming forward and starting speaking over the course of these few days. I'm like, damn, people coming out the woodwork. But they all coming with valid things to say. And the co-worker was saying that when they used to work together at that Hyundai plant, that fighting it within that marriage was common. It was an everyday occurrence. They was used to the fussing and fighting and everything in the workplace. Not saying that the couple actually would fight while she was at work, but like I guess like phone calls, or they would see her coming to work and she might have had bruises on her, or coming to work with a black eye, all of this. But it got so normal to everybody that they didn't even pay no mind to it. It was just a normal thing. Good morning, Judge Fifi. It was just a normal thing for her to show up to work, battered and bruised. It was just a normal thing for her to have these cuss out arguments with him over the phone while she at work. All of this was normal. But what got the coworker in hot water with social media was that the coworker said, and I quote, coworker said that Duchess thought that all of that fussing and fighting was cute until it wasn't. That's her exact words. She said that Duchess thought it was cute until it wasn't. And do y'all know social media gave that woman all types of backlash? And I guess they was trying to say that she was blaming the victim, and trying to say that she just wanted to be counted and wanted to be included. XYZ. When if you actually find the video of her speaking out, y'all, you actually see that the woman has some very valid stuff to say, because she worked with the Duchess every day. So she done had conversations with the Duchess on regular occasions, while working, about this whole situation with them. But the coworker does feel like the Duchess thought it was cute, and I get what she's saying. Now, I guess social media felt like she should have picked a better choice of words, but I understood exactly what she was saying, because have y'all ever been around these people, whether it's a friend or a family member, and they think that dysfunction is cute? They actually think that their partner being controlling is cute. They think that their partner being controlling and or abusive and territorial and jealous, they think that that's a sign of how much the person loves them. And they think that it's cute that this person is getting so mad behind them. That's a real thing. Good morning, Jeff Dean. That's a real thing, y'all. I done seen that happen in the past as well with some people that I know, where they think that that's the cutest thing, that he acting a damn fool behind them. And I'm thinking to myself, what? You don't think that that's a red flag? And please like my video. And so I think that's what the coworker was saying. But you know how the internet will take your words and twist your words. The coworker also was speaking about the fact that it was a lot of love spells, black magic, and witchcraft within that entire union. And she said that that was coming from both sides. She said because they played around with that so much within the foundation of that relationship, that relationship was destined to fail and destined to crumble. She was blowing the whistle and spilling tea about a lot. You should be able to find her video if y'all just I know I found the video where it said Obi's cousin speaks. If you type Obi's cousin speaks, you should be able to find the cousin's video. If you type Duchess's coworker speaks, then you should be able to find videos that will let you hear from the coworker. Yeah, Madam of the Mess. That's what she thought. She thought it was love until it wasn't. Until it wasn't. So that came out over the weekend. I really wanted to cover that because that really just gave another layer of toxicity within that marriage, y'all. And it really goes to show how deceiving looks can truly be, because people will take these lovely photos and these filtered pictures, and they posed in this way and posed in that way, so madly in love with each other, and post that mess up on their social media, have you thinking that they have a perfect prestige, the best relationship in the world. Meanwhile, they fighting like cats and dogs day in and day out. Meanwhile, somebody up in the marriage is scared to go to sleep at night. Y'all, it's insane. But all of that's coming out, and I'm sure things will continue to come out. Now, I don't know how much more will come out specifically because, of course, there won't really be any type of trial going on. But people are talking because now a lot of the puzzle pieces are fitting together and people are figuring out what happened to Obi. So there's that. Now, my next thing that I had on my list to discuss with y'all, let me go ahead and make sure I move to my next bullet point. Okay. So one thing too that I wanted to let y'all know was over the course of the weekend as well, there was funeral arrangement for the Las Vegas, for the couple that got unalived in Las Vegas. The couple finally had their funeral, y'all, where they were laid to rest. I was able to click on the video. The funeral was streamed onto YouTube by the church that hosted the funeral. I ended up seeing VS Icon. She had shared the funeral on her community wall this weekend, and I clicked into it. I didn't watch it all the way through. I just clicked into it just kind of to peek in to verify it. And yeah, they done had the funeral. So at least we know that whatever money that they had to get raised in order to get those people's bodies back to Phoenix, Arizona, you know, the GoFundMe and stuff must have been pretty successful because they were able to get those couples, get the couple's body brought from Las Vegas to Phoenix. And they had a very, very beautiful service, at least based on what I saw. It was pretty nice up in there. But yeah, I legitimately looked at it up until the point to where they were showing people going into the sanctuary to have a seat. I was able to lay eyes on the fact that it was two caskets up there at the front of the church. And y'all, after that, I clicked right on up out of there. I clicked right on up out of there. Hell no, I ain't trying to go to the funeral. Okay, I verified it. I could at least let the people know that this is a legitimate, authentic video if they want to check it out themselves. But hell no, I don't want to be at the funeral this weekend. No, thank you. No, thank you. But if y'all are interested in it, VS Icon, here in the beef sector, she shared it on her community wall if y'all want to take a gander. So there is that. Rest in peace to those people. Rest in peace. Yeah, Bernice, she was a correctional officer. That's what I was explaining. She met him because she was a correctional officer at either one of the jails or prisons that he was in once upon a time. But then after the fact, once they got together, then she started working at the Hyundai dealership. And that's where the coworker came in with giving her point of view. But okay, so then the next note that I have that also happened this weekend was so the main witch. Y'all know I talk about the main witch regularly on here. That's one of Lemon's witches over there that was trying to do weird ass little spells at me. Well, some kind of way she done got into a scuffle with the people of her old sector. Many of y'all don't know, but a lot of these new players, especially the ones that's Lemonettes, they done came from other sectors. And specifically, the main witch came from a sector called the Black Tea sector. The Black Tea sector has been mixing and mingling over here with us for a couple of years now, I would say. And specifically, I guess they started trying to be over there at Lemon. Well, one person named Inspector, the sector inspector, that's his name. The sector inspector must have went over there to Lemons. I guess it was Friday night or something. Went to Lemon's minding his business. I guess he clicked Lemon's link. From what I heard in the video, Charlie invited those people, or invited a couple of people from the black tea sector over to Lemon's, to hang out, because Lemon accepts new people. Lemon doesn't mind for people to be from a different sector coming over there to his platform to hang out. So the sector inspector went over there trying to hang out with Lemon. In some kind of way, the main witch was up in the chat being disrespectful and rude as hell, to the point where the sector inspector had to cuss her out. Then once he cussed her out, then I guess she must have had some words to say about him. I think Lemon ended up making sector inspector get off the panel or something. But the basic thing that I do know is that the main witch started using her wrench in a petty way to just time out the people from the black tea sector. So that ignited some type of a war, in which the sector inspector did a video dragging Lemon and dragging the main witch. I came across that video Saturday morning. Then I would say Saturday afternoon, there was a panel over on the lady called All About the Trees. Good morning, Dreamy. There was a panel over there in which Trees and the sector inspector were giving like a whole talk down memory lane about the main witch. Yesterday, I shared that video on my community wall for any of y'all that were interested. But a few takeaways that I got from what I heard them say is that the main witch has a very, very rocky and checkered past. They have alleged that she had an opioid addiction. They've alleged that there was a lot of criminal stuff related to her because of the opioid addiction. Like, they said that there is, I guess, documentation of her. How can I put it? I don't know if it's really her impersonating a doctor or impersonating other people to get the opioids. I mean, I'm not sure how to put it, because it's really such a sticky situation what they are saying she did. But something about doing very illegal things in order to get access to opioids. They also alleged, good morning, Joy Queen. They also alleged that she lost her teeth due to the opioid addiction, which kind of makes sense, because I'm telling y'all, during the talent show at Lemons, when she was camped up looking like Reed, she kept hiding her mouth behind the microphone that she was speaking through. Like, she was talking in a microphone and she kept hiding her mouth behind it. Anytime that she spoke, she made sure she held that microphone up in front of her face, in front of her mouth, in front of her lips, everything, so that you couldn't see the mouth. So the fact that they was over there talking about an opioid, thank you, Joy Queen. The fact that they was over there talking about an opioid addiction that made her lose her teeth, that sounded plausible. Now, I don't know if it's true, but I was just listening. If you are interested, definitely take a gander. But it seemed like they kind of pissed off, or at least the sector inspector is kind of pissed off with the main witch and Lemon. I don't know what's going to come of that. Y'all remember, it's a lot of times in the past where a couple of people will be from some other sector and get mad at one person in the beef sector, and then it'd be a call for war and all this. I didn't hear them trying to call for no war, but I heard them checking the main witch for the most part. I don't know if Lemon is going to respond about what has been said. And actually, I've been keeping a good eye to see if Lemon is just going to come on his community wall at all. I think we didn't see Lemon at all this full weekend. I don't think I done seen Lemon hit any link or be on the panel since he fell asleep on his live, and he had that long 12, 13-hour live. Now, the reason why I'm curious to see if Lemon pops up with him today If not today, then definitely tomorrow for its Teleport Tuesday. It's because if you guys observe my community wall, I ended up being made aware of a news article that was out there, specifically a news clip, a news video. I posted that news video up on my community wall, and I just put a simple message up in the caption. If you know, you know. So I'm just looking to see what's going on. Kind of goes back into speaking, like what I was saying about being power in the tongue and speaking negativity and stuff. Because that particular news clip, um, that particular thing that happened is in the vicinity of where Lemon may be. And the reason why I shared that on my community wall is to show proof of the crazy people that he lives around, the crazy people that he has been exploiting on here, the crazy people that he has been just putting on YouTube and throwing up in the B sector, sometimes without their knowledge and their consent. And just to show that it's some crazy people up over there. So he really needs to stop getting drunk and fucking around with them people like what he do. Good morning, Sadly Mistaken. I mean, it's some crazy people over there. The Michael Jacksons and the Eli, and I don't think PJ crazy, but it's a very strange character of people over there. But we'll see if he pop out within today or tomorrow for the Teleport Tuesday, and we'll go from there. My next note that I had listed here, let's see. Oh, so now for some reason yesterday the streets were kind of dry. So because the streets were dry, I was scrolling through and I'm like, well, damn. Who can I listen to? Who has a live for me to listen to so that I could get through a portion of my day? And lo and behold, Fi Babe. Fi Babe happened to have a live. Her live was pre-scheduled. And it was called, the title of her live was I Cussed Him Out. Or yes, I cussed him out. Something like that. What's good, Lemon's Outstanding? The live was called Yes, I Cussed Him Out, or I Cussed Him the Hell Out, or something. And I'm like, now who in the hell she cussed out? That's my question. I'm like, whoa, who is she cussing out and why? So I tuned into the live, y'all, and Fi Babe is recounting a very interesting thing. I think this goes back into where I was talking about at the beginning with the Duchess and the Frenchman. That whole abusive and DV type of situation. In Fi Babe's live yesterday, Fi Babe was recounting something similar that she was in when she was about 21 and 22 years old. She said back then when she was 21 and 22 years old, she got involved with this man who was about 10 years older than she was. She said that he used to have a habit of putting his hands and feet on her. She recounted times where she could be up in the kitchen in 1 minute, and in the next minute, she on the floor struggling to get up off the floor, but not understanding how she got on the floor to begin with. She said that this man was controlling, dangerous, abusive. She said that this man forced her to get an abortion. She said she was pregnant for this man. at the age of, I guess, 20, 21, 22. And when he found out she was pregnant, he forced her into an abortion. She said eventually she got the strength to finally leave that situation. She said she never looked back. But she said due to her still being in Chicago, every now and then she was still running to this man. Years later, she will run into him. Now she said that she don't know if she running into him because he is stalking her, or if she is running into him because it's a coincidence. She don't know if he is coming over to the area where she frequents more to have a better chance of running into her. But she said on multiple occasions she has ran into him without warning. And sometimes she would have her daughter with her, and they would have to get on out and go do something else or leave wherever they were. And I guess it must have been yesterday or something. I would say yesterday or either Saturday was some kind of way she ran into him again. She said that she believes that this man is actually following her because he always figuring out where she at. But essentially, she said that she was washing her car and her daughter was in the seat. Her daughter was in the car, I guess, listening to music or something. And she's standing outside of the car, washing up her car and everything. And the man decided to show up, and he's standing behind her while she washing the car. She gave him this glare, like, why in the hell you right here? He tried to speak to her, then she didn't speak back. He kind of got upset, like, oh, you acting funny, you ain't speaking now, that type of thing. She said she cussed him clean the hell out. She said she had the hose up in her hand with the car washing solution in the hose. And she said if need be, she was going to spray him with the hose. But she ended up cussing him out, finished up her car, got up in her car, and drove away. Please like the video. As I was listening to this story, for one, I was like, wow. I said, who knew that she had gone through something like that before in her early 20s? Then on the other hand, I was like, well, wow. I'm glad she got away. But then a petty part of me actually had to assess the situation from a different level. And I got to thinking, well, wait a second. This man done beat you up and down. This man done slung you across the kitchen and on the floor in the past. This man done forced you, your words where you said he made you abort a child. This man has followed you from place to place to place, the grocery store, you said a Halloween parade, you said the car wash, you said the damn hardware store. You know all these places where this man done followed you. And when you was finally encountering him face to face, all you did was cuss him out. So you mean to tell me that you didn't try to attack his ass? You mean to tell me that you didn't try to assault him? You mean to tell me that you didn't try to jump on his ass? You mean to tell me that you ain't take your bracelets and your bangles off and throw them at his motherfucking bitch made ass? You mean to tell me that you had a whole pressure washer power hose up in your motherfucking possession, up in your hand, and you ain't turn that hose over there at him and pressed it to the highest motherfucking maximum so that you could spray the hell out of him? You mean to tell me that he was up in your vicinity while you was right there at the safety of your car and you ain't do none of that? But then as long as you think cameras rolling, you want to try to attack a complete stranger. As long as cameras rolling, You want to be Billy Badass and want to try to act like you about to jump over all these people to come in and jump on me. You taking bangles off and throwing it. You taking your earring out. You taking your shoes off. You doing all of this, but you sitting right here in front of the man that was slanging your ass all over the place. That was slanging your ass all over the place in your early 20s. That made your ass get rid of a bundle of joy that could have been a gift from God that you just might have needed. And all you did was cussing out. You claim that he been stalking you, following you, showing up in different locations wherever you be at, always showing up and walking behind y'all and all this kind of stuff. And all you did was cussing out. Oh, okay. Girl, bye. Oh, okay. Y'all, don't be funny how people be up here and they be like, oh, yeah, they won't mess with me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But wait a second. Now, you had all the reason to attack that one. If he did and said all of the things that you said that he did and said up in that video, oh, he shouldn't have been able to just walk away from you and be able to stalk you again. And especially with your child up in the car. Good morning. Good morning, DC moderator. Especially with your child sitting up in the car. Girl, I guess being Billy Badass and trying to attack people is only cute and cool when you know a camera is rolling. But when you know it ain't no camera rolling, then you ain't gonna do a damn thing but cuss. Oh, okay. Noted. Got it. Understood. Then it got me to question a few things after I was thinking about that, y'all, because I'm like, now, for the people that's been in the beef sector for a long time, y'all remember we heard this whole story about her losing one baby when she was younger because of somebody gave the baby some coffee or something. So you mean tell me after losing a child because somebody gave them coffee, then you would then get into a relationship like this and end up aborting your next baby? Y'all make that make sense? For y'all that's been in the beef sector for a long time, let's connect these dots. If I knew that I had my child and my firstborn, unfortunately passed away as an infant, that would be heartbreak. It would be a heartbreaking experience, definitely. But after undergoing such an experience, I don't think that anybody could convince me to abort my baby. Because then I would look at that as the Lord giving me a second chance to be a parent. I would look at that as God giving me a second chance to be a parent. So why would I then so easily allow a man to make me go get an abortion? If I lost my firstborn and then I'm blessed with another pregnancy, I'm then gonna go and get an abortion because this abusive ass man told me to get it. Is that what people doing? Is that what people doing? Y'all, it just got me to thinking like, well, something don't seem right about that. But again, I've never walked in those shoes. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just thinking of it from a logical point of view. And then I'm thinking about it. How unlucky do you have to be to end up losing two babies? Because are you saying that you had two pregnancies and lost two babies because of different circumstances? Make it make sense, y'all. Then I'm like, well, because I remember about the whole coffee thing. A lot of people were saying that really didn't happen, that she really didn't lose a baby and all this, which I don't know what to be true. I was thinking that she did lose a baby because I heard her talk about it in Orlando, and she seemed like she seemed to have been talking about it from a very genuine place, like it really happened. But I'm like, well, damn, for that to have happened, and then somebody made you get an abortion too, damn, that would have been even more reason for you to spray his ass with the damn water hose. That's the question. Just Lovely, I don't know. Good morning, Jinx. Just Lovely said, which happened first, the abortion or the loss of the baby boy? Girl, your guess is as good as mine, but you know my brain got the thinking, and I'm like, hold up. That's unfortunate to lose two. But yeah, which happened first? That's the question. Did you have to abort your firstborn? But it gotta be the loss of the baby boy happened first, because I remember when she first told that story, she said that she lost the baby boy when she was 19 years old. I remember the age. Because I watched the video. I related to what she said. And the reason why I related to what she said is because I remember losing my mother at the age of 19 too. So when I lost my mother at the age of 19, I understood being in that type of mentality as a 19-year-old going through such a tragic loss. So I was able to relate to her in that story in that way. And that's how come my memory is making me believe that the loss of the baby boy happened first. Because she said up in the live, I know it's fine, but she said up in the live yesterday that this whole abortion thing, she was with this man when she was like 21 or 22 years old. So the abortion thing would have had to have happened after the fact. So that's a part of it that don't make sense. But then it might go down to the point too where people get on here and tell so many stories that they got to keep track of the stories that they tell. But based on when she originally told that story, the baby boy was lost when she was 19. And then this abusive man from her past, she got with him when she was 21, 22 years old. And he made her get an abortion. Yeah. One thing that I did take away from her video, though, is she said that she was happy that she went on ahead and got that abortion when he made her do it, because she couldn't imagine having to have him up in her life for the rest of her life, because she would be the mother of his child. But it's just something to think about. Something to think about. Something to think about. I'm sure the Babe Nation people, they about to get up in their fifis and probably about to run and say, I drug her and I this and now I ain't drag her. I just asked some very honest questions, some very valid questions. Maybe Babe Nation will actually start asking questions, because I mean they was around. They heard all the stories. They ain't think like, well, wait a second. Wait 1 minute. Just Lovely said, right, I would also prefer a supportive father of my child. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, you gotta have the most unlucky time when it comes to parenting. But yeah, I heard that. So that was my thought about it, because yeah, now if you were supposed to be trying to jump on or attack anybody, it should have been that man. They should have had to pry your hands up off his damn neck. It should have been him. After all the shit he did to you in your real life, oh, you had every right to attack his ass, but you didn't though. Or maybe you didn't because the cameras wasn't rolling. Or maybe you didn't because you knew that you was still at home. Maybe you didn't because you knew it wasn't people around to try to pull you away from him. It's a lot of reasons why you didn't, but you should have. So now let me see what my next note is. And please like the video as you come in. So my next note, y'all, that I think that was my next note. Now I did peek in at the spaceship last night over there at Pizarro's, y'all, and I have to say, it was trying to watch her live that made me just go ahead and go to bed, y'all, because I was kind of grossed out. Pizarro is over there currently, and she's been allowing the straight men to come to her platform. You know, she is networking, building up her channel, everything, and I'm not mad at it. But the most strangest thing was happening last night up in Pizarro's live. The man Resto had clicked Pizarro's link, and Resto was up there, you know, shooting the shit. But then it got very awkward. Good morning, Ivane. Good morning. Then it got very awkward on Pizarro's because Resto started flirting. Resto called her baby a couple of times, y'all. And Pizarro didn't correct him. Y'all, I had to raise an eyebrow. I was listening in utter disgust. Because I just never seen Pizarro just act that way around the men, especially not with her having a husband and her kids. Y'all might think that I'm over exaggerating or being dramatic, but it was so bad, y'all, that believe it or not, Lady Nika of all people clicked that link. Lady Nika was grossed out, which let me know that I ain't the only one that's grossed out. Lady Nika was grossed out and clicked that link and said that they need to stop all that hogwash. They need to stop all that foolishness. And she was like, Pizza, y'all, you gonna have to get a hold of this, get this together. Lady Nika said that she ain't like to see this going down. She ain't like that side of Pizarro. I tuned in for a little bit longer, and I ultimately had to tell Pizarro, I said, girl, I said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go in my morning show and talk about how you cheat on your husband. And Pizarro typed up in her chat, and she put, Jake! I hate to have to talk about Pizarro cheating on her husband, y'all. But that's what I witnessed. And I bear witness to it without even wanting to bear witness. Now, it leads me to the next thing. Emotional cheating. Flirting. Well, let's break this down. Is flirting considered emotional cheating? Let's start there. Let's unpack it. Because on the outside, all they was doing was flirting. And some people would call it harmless flirting. It was just some harmless flirting. But it's flirting packaged up into that bowl of like emotional. Because I know most people only look at cheating if it's physical. But I'm from the point of view and the perspective where I look at cheating as being emotional or physical. Michelle said she think it was trolling. You think it was trolling? Okay, good. Good. Because I'm like, what the hell is Pizarro doing? I know she ain't. And then I'm just like, even if she could have been trying to flirt or cheat, Resto of all people, Resto. Good morning, Barry Addison. I'm like, my goodness gracious. And I think the weird part about it though is I remember Pizarro flirting like that with Triple Red X. But that didn't seem so cringeworthy when it was Triple Red X. Maybe Maybe it didn't seem so cringe with Triple because I always knew that Triple was not interested. And actually, he used to kind of be awkward when she would be doing that flirting with him. Awkward and uncomfortable. But Resto was feeding all into that. And to be honest, I guess because I've heard Resto talk about this open marriage that he got and how he able to just do whatever with whomever all across Korea. Because he's able to do all that, y'all, I guess that's why it was a little bit different. Even and Jinx said, and Noble went up there too. Okay. And they said Noble was mad, so mad. See, but I'm like, girl, I don't know if you need to play with somebody like Resto like that. The way Resto talk about how he changed women, like he changing his draws, and how his wife allowed him to do it is quite telling. And even before this whole mishap happened over there up on Pizarro's, in the back of my mind, when I hear him tooting his own horn and gloating about him being able to just deal with all these women out within his marriage, the question that I had was, if in fact Resto's wife allows him to do whatever and be with whomever outside of his marriage, we always hear him talk about his daughter, but just based on what he say, he sounds like a Rolling Stone. And it make me wonder if he got other kids out there up in this world outside of his daughter, but he just don't claim them. I thought about clicking a link and asking him that, but then I was like, well, you could be getting in that man business too much. That might be too personal to ask him if he got some outside kids. Because the way he talked, good morning, Shanice. Because the way he talked about how he just used these women just as sexual concubines, it make me wonder if he ain't got no outside children that he just don't speak about. Yvonne, hey, I saw that. It's only a minute before Resto gonna go too far. The entire thing seemed too far. Too far. Pizarro should have put her foot down. Because if you give a man an inch, he gonna take a mile. And I witnessed her giving that man an inch last night. I said, if you don't stop letting this man inch around like this, he gonna take a mile. Then it's gonna be some explaining to do. I already could see it now. Truth Enterprise probably gonna go live 58 times today. Truth Enterprise gonna go live 58 times today and talk about Pizarro over there cheating on her husband. I don't know why, but Truth Enterprise be over there clocking Pizarro. Hell, when Code be over there. Good morning, Veronica. Good morning, everybody. When Code be over there, Code just be over there having just peaceful conversations, natural conversations. And even with Code just having peaceful and natural conversations over there, y'all, sometimes it get to the point to where Truth Enterprise got to go live about Code being up there. Say the Pizarro act like that's her boyfriend. Said that Pizarro act like that's her boyfriend and that they a couple. And I said, if only Truth Enterprise see that interaction last night. Oh, Truth about to have a fit. Truth is about to push that live button 38 times today in the juke joint. Truth is gonna talk about it. Jinx said, I agree, Michelle. I don't believe she would either. Michelle said, I said, look at Simple then the no singing happy life brother, shaking my head. Oh yeah, that man, I saw that man get up there and be up on the panel. I don't know what to think about that man. That man over there breeding poodles and got pregnant dogs running around, and then he talking about it was a fly up in his house. He was trying to kill a fly. I could have swore he said something about maggots being up in his house, and I'm thinking to myself, maggots? The fuck? Then they was trying to call the man gay. Michelle said, "Watch Reed." Girl, Reed had blocked me out of her chat the other week. I ain't been back over there since Reed had blocked me out, y'all. So I don't even be knowing. But yeah, Reed probably gonna talk about it. I'm just like, Pizarro, this ain't no good look. What the hell you got going on? These people already hell been on saying that you ain't married, that your husband ain't real, that he fake and he imaginary. And look at you now. You just giving them some crazy ass shit to say. But y'all, I can't control grown people. Now I wonder if Brianna was in attendance, if Brianna could have reeled that in. As a matter of fact, if Brianna go live today, I'm gonna have to drop down up in her chat and be like, Brianna, you need to go over there and check on your friend. I'll be like, Brianna, you need to go over there and see about your bestie because something was wrong with her. I don't know if she was high. I don't know if she got a new weed that she was smoking or what she was over there doing, but you need to go check on her because something wrong. Something is absolutely wrong. But yeah, so I saw that. Oh, last night when I saw Pizarro's live just getting unbearable for me, I peeked in over there at Big Rig. Y'all, if y'all don't support Big Rig Slaps, I think y'all should start. Big Rig Slaps and The Hood Table, they have this Sunday night show that they do. And they've been doing that Sunday night show for a few months now. They have an interesting dynamic. It's definitely a good change of pace and a good change of scenery when it comes to beef, sex, and mess and foolishness because they actually talk about real life events or real life events and topics. And last night, the Hood Table and Big Rig, they had their show last night. And when Pizarro's was getting too uncomfortable, I went over there to Hood Table and Big Rig. And they were discussing how long should you wait to start dating after a breakup. They were talking about, like, if you done been up in a relationship and y'all broke up, how long should you wait before you move on? They both gave their perspectives, their point of view about it. Each of them kind of had differences of points of view, but I think because they're coming from different perspectives, you know, Hood Table coming from a female's perspective, a woman's perspective, and then Big Rig's coming from a man's perspective. But then I recommended that they also put a little sauce on it, put a little stank on it, because I wanted to know, well, not only how long should you wait after a breakup before dating again, but in the event, heaven forbid, you became a widow or a widower, how long should you wait to date? So they talked about that topic as well, like how long to wait to date. And I was happy that they brought that up, or that they talked on it and spoke on it because they seem to have had very similar thoughts of it. Like I had, they were talking about the first time that they they might have lost a grandparent or something, and the first time that their grandparent moved on to a new person, started dating a new person, it was an issue. Hood Table was talking about her stepfather when he moved on after the passing of her mother, how she felt about it. I think when you see your relatives move on, especially after they done been married for years and years and years, and somebody passed away, unfortunately, and then they move on, it cut deep. It rub you the wrong way. Well, you just be like, what? How in the hell is you moving on so quick? How the hell you moving on? You just gonna forget about that 32 years that y'all was married? You gonna forget about that 40 years? But I think the overall consensus that both of them did agree with is that it depends on the generation. They were saying that it seems like the older generations, like our elders don't have a problem with moving on like that because that's just natural. It seems like the people who have a problem with the whole moving on after a loved one has or after a spouse has passed away is the younger people. And that is true. And then it makes me wonder, well, are you being in grown folks' business? Even though we all grown, the elders in our family is still considered like the grown people. So are you in grown folks' business if you be like, hey, I think you done moved on too fast? Or maybe you need to slow down. Imagine you trying to tell your grandpa, hey, you might need to slow down. My daddy, I think when my mama passed away, my mama and my daddy, they were already no longer seeing each other. My mama had her somebody new at the time that she passed away, and my daddy already had him a girlfriend at the time that she passed away. So when she passed away, the fact that my daddy was with his new girlfriend, that was no problem for me because they were already living these separate lives while my mama was alive. But I wonder if I would have had a different thought or a different point of view or perspective about the subject matter if my mama and my daddy were actually still actively trying to be a couple when my mama passed away. I think that makes the difference. And my daddy, he was with the girlfriend. The girlfriend has always been around after my mama passed away, and they eventually got married. And now she just she just there. You know, I don't call her mother. I don't call her mama. I call her by her first name. But either way, I never really had any issue with my daddy moving on or getting married and all that. I didn't have an issue, but I think that was because that's the separate lives that they were already living prior to my mom passing away. But I do wonder how other people handle it. And like Hood Table was saying, that she had an issue with her stepfather and how he kind of moved after her mother passed away. So yeah, it was an interesting topic. Essentially, I think they were saying though, everything has to be judged on a person by person basis. That there isn't a certain amount of months that you should wait, whether it's a breakup or whatnot. Like if it's a breakup, maybe wait a good 6 months to a year and then move on. But if it's a marriage, it could take longer. Michelle said, I remember our neighbor, his wife passed away. He married this lady 2 months later. See, married this lady 2 months later. That's crazy, but people do that. Yvonne A said, my husband passed away almost 3 years ago. I don't even want to think about dating. And see, that's why it's an individual basis. And I'm sorry to hear about your husband, Yvonne A. That's why it's an individual basis. Because see, Yvonne says she ain't even ready. And it's been 3 years. She ain't even ready. That makes sense though. And then when of course when you got kids involved, whether it's adult kids or whether it's underage kids involved in the situation, that's a whole nother level that's added to it about when is the time to move on. But they had a really deep discussion over there. If y'all really want some grown folks talk, some drama free, messy free type of talk, definitely take a look at Big Rigs Slap and the Hood Table. They always do their show together on Sunday nights. So you could catch the replay of last night's episode on Big Rigs channel. I believe this coming Sunday they will have the show on the Hood Tables. If I'm not mistaken, they alternate between the two platforms. One Sunday it'll be on Big Rigs, the next Sunday on the Hood Table, and so on and so forth. Good morning, Candy Cane. Just Lovely said last night Happy Life got Beasley to drop down off Riggs channel. I was so damn happy, and Happy Life works my nerves. Oh, see, then by that point I must have had went to bed because I ain't even know that Happy Life and Beasley was up there. I had to have gone to bed. Big Riggs, he because he stay on California or he stays in California, he go on so late. So if I'm able to stay awake to catch one of his shows, I'm happy. And I was able to catch at least the first hour or so of his show last night. But then I end up going to bed. So I have to see what I missed. But that's definitely something for y'all to check out if y'all just want a change of pace. I think it's good to check out too with it being Sunday night because you able to listen to something that's a real conversation piece before you start your work week. So that way you ain't got to start your work week with the foolishness. And I will say after that foolishness with Pizarro and damn Resto over there, y'all, that's all I can say about that. It's so unfortunate because I probably would have had clicked that link my damn self and told Pizarro something. But remember that the Furious Finesses had paid her some money to not let me be up there. So y'all, I just have to be up in the chat and just be looking. And I'll be like, girl, what the hell is this? But I'm gonna make sure that I tell Brianna or ODS that they gonna have to get her in line about whatever the hell she got going on over there. Okay, Just Lovely says she think it was around 2 a.m. Okay, yeah. Oh, I was definitely calling the hogs by 2. Oh, girl, I was out of here by 2. You heard me? Hell, and I was still tired.
It seems like
Hot.
there's a conversation happening where someone named Lovely and another person are discussing
What
their
the hell?
whereabouts and activities around 2 a.m. Here's a breakdown. Lovely's statement. Lovely said
What the hell? Y'all heard the damn. That was my damn phone. They tapping into my phone trying to eavesdrop. My bad, Just Lovely. My bad. Y'all ain't that about a B with this AI mess? Y'all heard it, didn't you? And that wasn't even Siri. That wasn't even Alexa. Good morning, Very Carrie. Y'all a mess. One of my friends have always said, don't be trusting the Alexas and all that. Don't trust Alexa. Don't trust Siri. Hell, can't even trust the damn cell phone. Because it's just going to tell me what we've been talking about. But yeah, Just Lovely said, damn phone nosy. Sage Gage said, I speak in code on the phone. Girl, but that's the thing. I ain't even up on the phone. I'm talking to y'all up in the live, and the phone just want to start talking. And that's why I'm like, what in the hell? I ain't pressed nothing. But y'all know how these phones have those voice commands. You said don't trust Gemini. I didn't even know I had Gemini on my phone. I never knew that I had no damn Gemini. But the damn thing show did start talking. Barry Addison already know it was called Gemini. I'm gonna have to get this deleted. I'm gonna have to get Gemini deleted off my damn phone. No, I got an Android, Michelle. I got an Android. Michelle, Michelle's talking to Candy Cane. And then Just Lovely said, I broke up with my ex 2020. We dating again now. Oh wow, okay. Wait, are you dating your ex again? Are you dating your ex again or you dating somebody new? Michelle said they have a class action lawsuit. A lady went to sleep. Somebody was looking at her through her phone. What? Oh, you have Gemini and an Android too. Okay. But what? Jeff Dean said I got hacked on Facebook before I had to make a new Facebook page. Ooh. But the class action lawsuit, it's a class action lawsuit against iPhone because I don't have an iPhone. I got an Android, but I can't stand just the fact of, these phones having a voice command where it could just strike up a voice command just because you talking, talking leisurely, and then all of a sudden they want to start talking. Michelle, I guess Gemini is that man that you just heard. You heard that man voice? That man voice that was just talking through my phone is called Gemini. But I ain't even know that such an app was on my phone. But I guess based on what they telling me, Gemini must be some type of app that's related to Android phones. I guess some kind of way it's related to Android devices. And so that's why it just happened all of a sudden. But it needs to stop. But either way, y'all, I done made it to my hour and a half. Sage Gage said, don't trust your remotes for TV, Alexa, Gemini, Bixby, or Siri. Yvonne said, my husband came into my daughter's life from ages 7 to adulthood. He did everything for her. Her bio father did nothing. Oh, wow. And Michelle said, they hacked my account. I cut them out. Gemini is in all Android phones. Oh, okay. A whole hot ass mess. That's what that is. A hot mess. Michelle said, yes. Go Google it. I promise I'm not lying on the iPhone. Okay. I'll look into that to see. But either way, y'all, I have come across my hour and a half, which is great. It's so funny how I be feeling so sluggish when I start these lives, but then after a while of talking, y'all, I end up getting charged, but it's just pushing through and just doing the talking. Please like the video if y'all haven't. Y'all, this was just a little bit of a mix of all over the place, but I'm pleased with this live because it was some talking points that I truly wanted to get out, especially related to the things that have been happening on social media, these stories that's being covered. I'm definitely happy that I was able to touch bases on that, plus give a little bit of beef sector um perspective and everything. So that's good. But either way, well, I'm gonna wind down. Now I did tell y'all YouTube cameras was live throughout this entire night. So I doubt that she gonna be live today because she pulled the all-nighter, it seems. So after I'm done, I guess y'all will have to go over there to Code to see what he got going on over there. Unless y'all just decide to watch something else or go listen to something else. I don't know where else to recommend y'all to go. But I'm gonna keep my eyes open, my ears open about what's going on in relation to this Duchess case because I think this Duchess and Frenchman case is quite fascinating. And again, that's here in Georgia where I am. So I think that's one of the reasons too why I've been really interested in following it. They were so young. They said the Frenchman was 36 years old, the Lady Duchess was 27 years old. So they had a 10-year age difference and a marriage that was toxic as all get out. But yeah, well, thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all have a great Monday. I'm gonna have to go through Google and see how I could get this damn Gemini off my damn phone. See if there's any way for me to take his ass the motherfucker off of here. Y'all take care, be blessed, don't stress, and y'all have a great start to the work week. Bye, y'all.